What's going on, Meltdown? JJ Lieberman, and my guest this week, good friend of mine. He's in Canada right now, originally from Oklahoma. Cal Anderson, Cal42688 on Twitter. What's going on, dude?
Not too much.
So, yeah, I mean, it's funny. We're just talking about it because I think it's going to come up on the screen, Calvin, and you were talking about how how people... You know where people know you from based on how they say your name, right?
Yeah, basically, with poker, it'll be Cal if I know you from poker, and then if I know you from like regular stuff outside of poker, they know me by Calvin.
Nice. So yeah, I just so we'll get into the hardcore poker stuff in a second, but you're obviously a professional poker player, and you've been doing it for what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years.
And how old are you? I know you really well. How old are you?
I'm 25. Yeah.
Okay, 25. But how did you get in? Growing up in.
When I was younger, I always liked to gamble and stuff like
Nice.
that. So I actually, when I was growing up in Yukon, Oklahoma, I played a lot of sports, and football was one of them. And every Wednesday night, I went out I would invite guys over to my house. And we would play just like your basic poker game, and we did like a bunch of different type of games. And we would do like a quarter chip, and everyone would like buy in through me, and then I'd just like sort all
You'd
the money.
You'd be hustling everybody.
Yeah.
They
Well,
would
I mean,
buy in through
well,
you. And now today they're still buying in through you.
No, but we would play just like regular poker games, like Texas Hold'em, and then we'd do like the fun games that, like in between the sheets or whatever.
In between the sheets.
Yeah,
We're just all guys in between the sheets. I don't know if that's a poker game anymore, Cal.
Yeah, no, you throw one card down, and then you try to bet on. You throw two cards down, and if it's like a 2 and then like a king, and then you would like bet X amount of money, and everybody would ante, and then if it came in between those cards that were out there, and you get whatever you bet. But if it was outside, you have to pay that to the middle of the pot. And then if it hit like the 2 or the king, then you have to pay double.
Right. But how did you make that transition and get into online poker?
Well, I did well with that, mostly because at the end of the night
they were buying in through you.
Yeah, no. At the end of the night, they would we would all just change it to like blackjack, and I'd be the dealer. So
right.
Was...
and once again, buying in.
Yeah,
that's great. But like what? When did you start grinding online?
Well, right when I turned 18, I made an account on some sites and started dabbling in that.
Right.
Yeah, I messed around with that for a while, and then I kind of always knew I wanted to play poker for a living, but I didn't know if I could do it, or it was always like the dream,
Right.
But so I went to college I ended up going for 2 years, and I played throughout college, but I didn't ever go at it really hard. And then
were you making at what point do you remember when you started making money? I remember because I've done a couple things. I've talked about being in professional baseball, and then I'm playing cards. That's how obviously I mentioned I did that for close to 4 years full time. But you remember when you really started to make money? You're like, oh, this is...
Yeah. The first time that I knew that I could do it, basically was I was going into my junior year at UCO, and I decided to I only took 2 classes because I wanted to focus in on poker, and I'd been studying a lot and preparing for it kind of, and then I was just what, I'm gonna go for it really hard here. Sorry, I moved the mic.
Yeah, that's no problem.
But I played, so I was all right, I'm just gonna do these 2 semesters, and I just played the whole month, and I was this is the month that it was a May or something like that, and that month I just was played everything, and I went really hard, and I ended up winning the tournament leaderboard for the month
on PokerStars.
Yeah, and I won one for the weekly. I made $100K in a month. So,
really?
Yeah,
dude,
it was nuts.
The funniest thing, I mean, because everyone has their poker story, how it was 2009. I was umpiring in pro ball, and I was so broke. I took $40 and I put it on Full Tilt Poker, and I went broke within minutes. And I looked at my bank account. I had $80 overall, and I was like, oh, whatever. I'm gonna go broke anyways. I turned that $40 into the 4-year career.
Yeah,
it was pretty sick. And that month, in the 3-4 years that I was umpiring, I made more money in July '09 than I did in the past 3 years. Like umpiring. I said, screw this. You know what I mean? I'm not taking this shit anymore. I had a hate group on Facebook about me. I just played online, and then that's eventually how I got to meet you. Never to the level. It's so funny how you can be I guess it's like anything. You could be a professional poker player. You're paying the bills. Like I was paying the bills, and they talk about going to Vegas or Atlantic City, but. The cool thing I like about you is, you're so humble. Like, up until this morning, you're, according to Pocket Five, a few leaderboards, right? We're talking about you're ranked number one as an online tournament poker player. It dipped a little, so it's, it's hurting my street cred. But no, really, does it even mean anything? Like, how can you even say someone's the best player or number one ranked in the world? Like, what's it mean? Like, where I'm trying to go with that.
Yeah. Basically, like as far as online goes, there's a couple different ranking sites, like Official Poker Rankings and then Pocket Fives as well.
Right.
Official Poker Rankings ranks like one site and how well you do like for that year, and it's really good with like a combination of like how well you finish at the top and with how much money you make.
Right, you're basically your return on investment. Basically, and your profit.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that one, but it only records for like each specific site. So as far as like PokerStars, which is the biggest site, I'm ranked like for this year. I'm ranked like I don't know, like 5th or something like that, which is really really good. But then like Pocket Fives, you can throw in all of your names over all the different sites that you play on.
Right, which for people that don't know, Pocket Fives is the biggest community for tournament. Pocket Fives and 2+2, biggest community for online poker players.
For
tournaments.
Yeah, and like the rankings through that's like, it's cool to be like and that's where I've probably excelled in the rankings the most, because throughout the last like year and a half I've been ranked number one the longest.
Right, and that's a funny thing. I love watching. I used to hate poker so much because I did it and I hated it. I didn't love it. It caused me many a heartache. But it's funny because now I'm watching it, and I'm watching it again as a fan, and I'm watching something like NBC Heads Up, the Heads Up Championship, and you see online poker players, and that's the one thing. Like you're probably the game literally adjusts to you. It adapts to your style. Not just you, but the top players in the world. But you really fly under the radar, being such a great poker player, so well known in the community. But in mainstream, if you're looking at ESPN, not until what was it last year that you got kind of some TV players to watch, or
I was one of the players to watch on ESPN for like the World Series.
Like, but you generally fly under the radar.
Yeah. As far as like most of I don't get too much TV time because I choose to play tournaments that aren't the ones that like people go for, I guess.
Yeah, but you're also a guy who you wear your hoodie and you just play.
Yeah.
You don't give a shit. Like,
for sure.
You just want to play cards. You're not right. Yeah.
It's that. I mean, it's not all about like the fame for me.
It's
I've always like enjoyed playing cards, and like I also would rather play outside of the U.S. too, because I can't. I mean,
well, you've been everywhere, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Like where you go, Europe. You've played EPT, European Poker Tour.
Yeah, well, I can't. I mean, a lot of televised poker is in the U.S., and I don't like to play in the U.S. because we can't anymore, obviously.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that too. But have you ever been to Macau? Have you done Macau?
No, I was gonna go, but then
dude, everything.
It's a long flight.
Long flight, but it just looks like that's probably the best action in the world, eh?
Yeah, it's some for cash games at least.
Right? Yeah, just crazy gamblers.
Yeah.
Just with so much money. That's another thing. So, 2011, April 13th is when a lot of people don't know. Like, you can play online poker in Canada. No problem, but you can't play online poker in the U.S. not until recently in certain states.
Yeah.
But the FBI, the government, the Department of Justice went in and shut down PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker and froze everyone's account. I was playing a session and people were just timing out, and people were messaging me on Skype. So they went in and they froze the poker sites.
Yeah, it was crazy for sure. I mean, I was just playing normal, and then all of a sudden April 13th, the day before taxes come in.
Yeah. You hear that? You hear that? The government's a lot smarter than you give them credit for. George W. wasn't that big of an idiot, but
yeah. So they just froze it down. Basically, they froze up like the payment processors, so you couldn't cash out at that point.
If you're in the U.S.
Yeah.
Without a warning, and it's so crazy because I would even on my side I could still play in Canada, and but you would go to PokerStars or Full Tilt Poker, and the FBI warning would come up like and it's funny because we were talking about this yesterday when we were just chilling at your place, how everyone paid their taxes and then they wait. They didn't. A little.
That's pretty shady for sure.
Really shady.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you can buy a gun in America, right?" A lot of people say it's true. You can buy a gun in America, but you can't play online poker in the United. You pay your taxes and you can't play online poker. That boggles my mind. Like it doesn't. It's only because this is my opinion. I know you're going to have your opinion. But it's only because they weren't getting their cut. They weren't that's what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
I mean, and it just bothered because, I mean, it really, now online poker is not what it used to be. It's there's not as many fish in the game.
For sure. That's what happens whenever you take out America in the online community, because that's where, I mean, there's a lot of really good players, but they're the most fish as well.
Right.
So you basically take them all out, and then everyone that's really, really good moves out to play. So now you have all these like shark American guys coming out of the U.S. to play, and then now there's no fish. So
and they just did it so, like you said, it really was. It was just shady. There was no heads up to. It's not our fault. It was not our as players. We didn't do anything. We're just doing. We're just playing poker, right? They didn't say you couldn't play poker, and now a lot of people lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of business.
Yeah.
And then the average Joe who works 9 to 5 Monday to Friday might not have anything except on Friday night he wants to go home, watch college basketball on TV, and play a $20 tournament. Can't even do that now.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It boggles my okay. I mean, like I just don't want to get either of us arrested. Some Marxism shit or whatever is going on. But so you moved to Costa Rica?
Mexico. Yeah. I mean, once Black Friday hit, I mean, for the majority of the people, I mean, it sucks, and like it sucked for me too, because like I can't play, I can't do my job in the place that I live. So.
Right, your family, your friends, you have a girlfriend?
Yeah. So, I mean, I had to, like, at that point, I thought, I have to make a choice. Do I want to just sit around and do nothing and just, like, maybe go back to school or whatever, or do I want to, like, chase the dream? So, Black Friday was on the 13th, and April 13th, and April 26th, which is my birthday, I signed a lease on I signed a lease on a house in Mexico, which was like on a golf course next to the beach, which is like I don't know why I didn't do it a long time ago, actually.
Right. and you've chosen now Toronto.
Yeah.
Just in time for winter, huh? That golf course. But it's funny. I don't know if we can get one of your roommates, who I'm a big fan of. He was he was one of the he used to be in he was drafted into Major League Baseball, and he Rice stud.
Yeah.
And he was probably on the best pitching staff ever in college baseball.
Yeah.
I think that's like so unfair, like to have that much talent in one house, that much poker talent, that much athleticism. It's like and living on the beach and.
Oh yeah, Wade's a beast. I would have never been able to move out of the U.S., especially to a place like Mexico, without him. He speaks fluent Spanish, and like you
don't speak any Spanish?
I mean, I speak a little bit,
right?
Jeez. the basics.
What's it like? Because I've been to Mexico, but I've only done the resort, right?
Yeah.
And Cabo's a little bit different, right?
Cabo's pretty nice. It's pretty touristy as well. And then like that was kind of like I'm a scaredy too, so like
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't.
talking. I couldn't walk. Is it when it gets late because it's not a resort? When you walk, can you walk the streets like you walk the streets downtown
Well,
Toronto?
I lived in like a gated community.
Oh, did
so,
you?
Yeah, we would jog on the golf course.
Keep everyone else out.
we would jog. Yeah, we would jog on the golf course.
Oh, that's
walk
so
down
badass,
to
man.
the water. Yeah.
How and now you just live. How you like Toronto though? You like living here?
Yeah, I mean, so from
So different from Yukon, Oklahoma. I can't even fathom that as a place. Like you, that's so cool though, right? But it must be polar opposites, right?
yeah, but the difference between here and Toronto and Yukon is like it's crazy that so many people walk everywhere, and I never like.
Yeah, you drive, right?
Yeah, like once you turn 16, like you pretty much get a car and drive everywhere.
You get it, the pickup, right?
Yeah,
the pickup, the cowboy.
pick it.
Yeah, the pickup, the cowboy hat, and a place where you put the beer, right? It's like there's a sheriff. How's it going?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
No,
I went to college in a small town in Montgomery, West Virginia. Right, and I was like that. I was like, because there's nothing when I was in West Virginia, there's nothing like if I want to go to get Subway on a Sunday night, it's a mile walk, but it's not like here where you can walk a mile or a kilometer, whatever you're doing the metric, but where it goes quick because you see a lot of things. There was nothing for a mile, and I just don't want to be walking on the side of the road and someone just yell, "What are you doing out there?" Something like that. But you like the city here.
Yeah, I mean, I miss family and stuff. It sucks that I can't, be around my mom or dad as much. And, but yeah, I like it here. There's, it's good. I liked Mexico. I mean, I lived there for, almost a year. I mean, I still like go back there, but like, I couldn't do the. I'm like a scaredy, like I said earlier.
Yeah, it's great. It is great about the city.
Yeah, I like Canada. There's no guns here. Everyone's.
Oh, there's guns. There's guys.
There's guns.
Just not, there's nobody just walking in 7-Eleven with one hole, right? Holstered on. Yeah, give me some hickory sticks or whatever, beef jerky. But no, it's different. It's definitely cool, and but it's really like. The one thing like I love doing now because I'm pursuing comedy, I'm pursuing acting. I feel like I'm living because I'm doing things, and that's the one cool thing that you do, and that's why I love hanging out with you. Going to your place and just shooting the shit. A lot of people look at a guy like you and just see you're a gambler, right? That's how people perceive you. That's how people perceive me. They're like, when are you gonna stop playing poker? And it's like people really think that all you do is probably just look at a dartboard, throw darts, and hopefully you hit bullseye once in a while.
Yeah.
But you're sharp. Like you're a sharp guy. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, common perceptions of poker players. Whenever people say poker, they think of like casino games, like the house games, like blackjack, roulette, and like craps and stuff. So it's obviously much different. Like I spend so much time studying and like. Working on to improve my game, and it's not just like it's not nearly what one would think it as, but like that's
the impressive thing too is so I was at your house and when you're in prime time session poker, like how many tables you have up at once?
I don't know, anywhere between like 10 and 25 or something like that.
10 and 20? Okay. Yeah. So on a Sunday at 2 p.m., you generally have those 25 tournaments going.
Yeah, sometimes.
You're sick human. I came over, but you play with sometimes the monitors, but sometimes you just have 25 on your laptop?
Yeah, well... like, dude, whenever you have like two monitors like this, and you have to like constantly move your back and forth and stuff, and if you can just move your eyes instead, and like I want to be able to play poker for a long time, so the more movement, the unnecessary movement that I have to do is like.
But that's what people don't see. Stuff like that people don't think about. But I was yesterday, when I was just watching you play, we're hanging out. Your table literally is the size. It's maybe 2 inches big. That's how big it is on your computer, and you have 25 and you have to make quick decisions, and you're convincing me, no, the resolution's much better. I'm like, dude, I'm a foot away, I can't see shit. And
I know. I like to get close, and I like to be right in my face. And,
nah, but you're locked in, man. You're locked in.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the zone when I play.
Yeah,
and I go really hard whenever I play, and then whenever I don't, I take my time off. I like to be in the moment, whatever I'm doing. Like,
that's awesome.
So yeah, when I play poker, I go really, really hard, and then whenever I do other stuff, I'll forget about poker.
Well, I honestly, dude, I mean, like I've known you for a few years, but I mean, really starting to get to know you that you're living in Toronto. It's not just us shooting the shit over Skype, and this, like I said, this means a lot that you came in here, and I hope you'll come in again and have you in a couple months if you don't get scared from the winter. Because it's coming, dude, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming in. This guy's awesome to follow. Follow him on Twitter, Cal42688, and keep on coming back and share this with your friends. Share it on Facebook. I'm JJ Lieberman. This is Cal, and we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.